What is going on, y'all? The time is 11:01, Sunday, August 18th. This is One More Round Fights with your host, me, Gaff. If you're new here, I'll be giving you MMA and boxing news every Sunday at this time, by this time, or by this time. And I'm going to keep you up to date on MMA news, boxing news, some grappling news. And anything else happening in the fight sphere, as we like to call it. I'll also be giving bets, upcoming picks, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to see us grow and you want to hop on the wagon, then you should follow and subscribe at YouTube/One More Round Fights. Find us on TikTok, find us on Instagram, find us on all your socials. Please hit that follow and like, and help us grow and become the next big thing around here. Now, we had a lot of stuff happen this weekend. A lot of stuff. UFC 305 happened. PFL 8 happened. CJI happened. ADCC is still going on. Top Rank Boxing happened. And then we have next week, we have another slate, full slate. We got PFL 9. We got UFC Fight Night, Cannonier Borralho. Lots of stuff going on. So without further ado, I'm going to start diving into this, and we'll take it from there. All right, starting. Oh, actually, before I get started, don't forget to email us your wins. If you did grab some wins off the picks from this channel, please send them in. I will make a graphic and put you up there. We need to highlight your wins. I'll add your name, all that. So please, if you grab some wins, let us know that you won. I want to know. I want to see those wins. If I won and you won, we should be in the winner's circle together. So, yeah, email us at onemoreroundfights@gmail.com. Besides that, let's get into the first topic of the day. Du Plessis gets the submission in round 4. I was wearing an Adesanya shirt last night, the Hunter shirt, and I was flaunting it, dancing with it, doing all types of stuff. Maybe I'll give you guys a cut down of that. But anyways, I had to change my shirt for this. I only have 1 or 2 goats left. I got Max Holloway, John Jones. I don't know where Izzy's going to go from this. Du Plessis got the submission in round 4. I'll break down the fight real quick. Round 1, Du Plessis was looking good, but it was kind of split. It was half and half. Izzy was landing strikes, but Du Plessis was threatening the grappling exchanges, putting him on his butt, putting him up against the fence, making him guess. So it's kind of split. It could have gone either way. I personally gave that round to Izzy because Du Plessis was looking sloppy and trying to find his rhythm and just wasn't there yet. Then round 2 was a clear Du Plessis round. He controlled Izzy a lot, took him down, landed a couple shots on the back, threatened with a couple chokes, almost finished it a couple times, and then the round ended. Round 3 was a complete Izzy round. He could dictate the pace, landing kicks, landing punches, landing a lot of shots. It looked like Du Plessis was trying to take that round off, honestly, because it was not landslide, but it was a clear Adesanya round in round 3. Round 4 comes. Adesanya's looking good again. I'm starting to cheer. I'm feeling good. My parlays is looking. I had a CKB parlay in. I'll show that later today. But I had a parlay in. I'm feeling good. I had singles on Adesanya. I started doubling down. I started putting more bets in on him. I was like, oh, I like these odds. They were still minus something in his favor. So I'm like, all right, screw it. Threw that in there. Looking good. Then halfway through the round, Du Plessis, I think Adesanya misses a punch and tries to get away. Du Plessis lands a couple shots. I think a couple rights, then goes on his back, drags him down, takes his back, throws the hooks in, throws in the rear naked, rolls to his back, and then Izzy taps. Izzy taps pretty easily. Round 4. The judges had it 2-2, basically, if it was going into round 5. If Du Plessis didn't get that sub, it was going to be 2-2 going into round 5, and it was trending Izzy's direction. So that was Izzy's fight to win, and he lost. He lost. He gave big props to Du Plessis at the end of the fight. They showed much love to each other backstage, and after the fight, all the animosity was gone. But yeah, it sucked. It sucked to see. I think the Adesanya train is over. I don't know where he goes from here. I mean, think about it. What does he stay around at 85? Who does he fight at 85? That's worth it. Are there any names at 85 for him? I mean, this is Israel Adesanya we're talking about. This is going to be a main eventer on a fight night. This is going to be, at worst, co-main on a pay-per-view. But yeah, like who do we let's see 85 and 205. 85, you could do the Strickland rematch, but he's getting the title shot against Plessis next. You could do a Whitaker fight again, but he's already 2-0, so why take that? You could have a striking battle against Nasruddin Imavov, but would that do numbers? I don't know. Cannonier, they already did that. We already know how that ends, and he's fighting Borralho this weekend. Upcoming, Marvin Vettori, 2-0. Nothing there. Brendan Allen, you should book that Marvin Vettori Brendan Allen fight. So, and then Paulo Costa, already 1-0 on him too. Jacker Manson, Dolidze, Chimaev, all that. Like, maybe Chimaev, but Chimaev's got a big fight against Rob. So maybe the Chimaev fight, the winner of the Chimaev Whitaker fight, and the winner of Borralho Cannonier, which should be Borralho and should be Chimaev. So hopefully 2 fresh new matchups for him. But besides that, there's not much at 85 for him. I mean, he got finished by Duplessis, near finished by Strickland. I mean, you could book the Duplessis rematch after the Strickland bout again, but then he'd have the same Tyler Rain as like Usman. 2 rematches to buff the stats. Covington, Masvidal, if you want to count Edwards. Even though he lost to Edwards. But yeah, a bunch of rematches. Do we want that for Duplessis, or do we want him to just face Strickland in one rematch, go right up to 205 and face Alex Pereira? But speaking of 205 for Izzy, what would be up there? The only fight I really see is a Blachowicz rematch, which would be great for him at this time and get him right into the top 5 for 205 to challenge against guys like Jamal Hill and Goliath or Jiri or right to Alex, which would be perfect for him. But obviously Duplessis is going to be ahead of him in line if Duplessis really wants to fight Strickland, then go up to fight Alex Pereira. So imagine if Duplessis wins that. Now his matchup is somebody that's beaten him twice or somebody that's beat him once. Well, twice if you count. 3 times if you count kickboxing for Alex and Izzy. But Duplessis, I mean, it's kind of log jammed at both divisions for Izzy. So it's kind of like, what do you do at this point? Do you do the stuff you were doing in kickboxing, go straight to heavyweight? I mean, are there any matchups that intrigue? I mean, everybody's a big hammer up there. Like Almeida would drag him to the mat. Blades would drag him to the mat. Pavlovich is way too strong. Well, Pavlovich might be a good matchup. The speed versus the power. I feel like Izzy could get away from I don't know. But Volkov, a little too long for Izzy. That would be way too many disadvantages. Cyril Gahn, bigger, stronger, and a technical striker. I don't know about that one. And Tom Aspinall, don't even entertain that. I don't want Izzy to die in there. So, yeah, there's really not much for Izzy left. What do you do? I maybe go into boxing. We were talking about that last night. Maybe have him go against Jake Paul, one of those guys, and maybe an Anderson Silva boxing match. Something like that. But there's not much up there for him. I don't know where he goes from here. It's going to be an interesting development over the next couple of weeks to see how that goes and what he does. But yeah. And Duplessis looked I don't want to say he looked amazing. He looked good. He got the finish. He did his thing. He's the champ. He solidified himself as the champ. He did his thing. I just didn't think it would happen like that. I didn't think he would just overpower him and just finish it. Like a lot of people had Dricus sub round 3. I don't know, man. I just didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. The things I did see coming, I didn't happen either. So this was a weird card for me, honestly. I just didn't like it. The vibes were off. The vibes were off on this card. I couldn't make money on it. I just absolutely couldn't. From the prelims to the main card, I just couldn't make money. I couldn't string a parlay together. I couldn't string singles together. Even the singles I would hit, then the next bet I'd put the winnings on, I'd lose it. It was just a rough one for me. I hope it wasn't a rough card for you guys as well, but goddamn, I got spanked on that one. Spanked. And then doubling down on Izzy at the end, trying to make my L's back, and just dug myself a deeper hole in the end. So rough night for your boy. Very rough night, honestly. Minus night. I don't even want to talk about it anymore, about that main event. So let's move on to the big underdogs on this card. CKB, you were cooking with gas from the start. I mean, Dan Hooker, Kai Kara France, both cashing as plus 200 dogs. Dan Hooker pulling out the decision win. Looking good in rounds 1 and 3. Or was it 2 and 3? I don't remember. But Dan Hooker putting the strikes on Gamrot. Gamrot looking gas, not being able to string takedowns together and keep him down. Every time he got Hooker down, Hooker was butt scooting to the fence. He was separating the hands. He was getting his strikes off, getting these kicks off. Sometimes his kick was caught by Gamrot, and that was the way Gamrot would get his takedowns. But again, Hooker would fight those hands. He'd scramble, get back to his feet, and he'd start putting some strikes on him. And the judges saw that. The judges saw that Gamrot was just throwing strikes to keep Hooker off him, and Hooker was throwing strikes to damage Gamrot. Gamrot looking like a 2-round fighter. Hooker looking like he's ready for the top 5. He was saying he had that Gamrot had that sexy little number next to his name, and he was wanting to take that. Everybody was saying Hooker was looking good this week, and yes, he did. He came away with the dubber. Blonde hair Hooker does it again. Oh, that sounded weird. But anyways, yeah, Hooker with the win. Couldn't believe it. Threw in a late parlay with Gamrot that I won't show later, but yeah, that didn't hit. Neither did I. Had a Gamrot Urseg in that parlay. It didn't hit. So CKB parlay was looking good, looking real good. Kai Kara France gets the round 1 KO. Round 1. Kai, you did your thing, bro. You did your thing. Urseg put him down. You said you're a technical striker. Cool, bro. I got these 2 bombs right here for you. I got these 2 bombs. And he put them on him. He put it on him, baby. Urseg. I think that was the first KO of Urseg's career. If I'm not mistaken. That was definitely, what am I saying? I don't think he's ever been finished before. Yeah. That was Urseg's first KO loss of his 3 losses. First KO loss. 2 in a row for him. I mean, the guys he lost to were 2 good names to lose to, Pantoja and Kara France. Now, speaking of Hooker and Kara France, I see a lane where both of them could be getting title shots. Both of them. I don't even need a 3rd win from Hooker. I've seen enough. I've seen enough from Hooker. I'm like, all right, 3 straight wins. Or is it 4? Is it 4? 3 straight wins off of Claudio Puelles, Jalen Turner, Mateus Gamrot. You are now in the top 5. You are now in the top 5. And now your options are Arman Saryukian, who's booked, I think. If not booked, it should be booked. Then you have Charles Oliveira. I don't need that fight for you. Justin Gaethje. I don't need that fight. It would be fun as hell, actually. Hooker Gaethje. Oof. That gets me going. Actually, give me that. Give me that. Give me Hooker Gaethje. Give me Hooker Gaethje. And then the winner of that, which shouldn't be Gaethje, should get the title shot, which should be Hooker. Makhachev will probably fight Saryukian next. Or somebody else. Nope. It'll probably be Saryukian. Or the winner of Chandler McGregor, but will that fight ever happen? Who knows? Yeah. So I say Gaethje, Hooker. Hooker wins that because Hooker's looked great in his last few fights. Then and Gaethje's trending downwards. And then set him up for a title shot with Makhachev. I think it's a rematch, right? Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, Islam Makhachev rematch. He lost by Kimura in October of 2021 in Abu Dhabi in the first round. So a nice little rematch if he's 25-12 would be pretty cool. Would be pretty cool to see. So shout out to Dan Hooker. Great win. Signature win. Classic. It's been his style these last 3 fights. Put these hands on these guys that want to grapple him and stop the exchanges. He says, nah, you're going to taste these hands. I'm going to put them on you. And then gets the win. Shout out to Hooker. And Cara France gets the win too. Now, Cara France, he has a win. This is there's no streak going on. This is his first win. He's coming off a loss to, I believe, was it Pantoja? Who was it? Oh no, it was Amir Albazi, who hasn't fought in a year. That was in June of 2023. So this was his first win since then. And even before the Albazi loss, he lost to Moreno in a TKO in a fight that he was winning. So, and the Albazi's decision was split, so it doesn't look bad for him. And a dominant KO in round 1, that looks good. I wouldn't even need another win from him to give him a title shot, honestly. I'm cool with just sending him up there because Moreno's taking time off. Albazi hasn't fought in a year. So, like, what, you're going to get a title shot off of 400 days of inactivity, 500 days of inactivity? And then France is already at 4. What, Brandon Royval has a win, but he just fought for the title and lost. So do you do Royval France, and then the winner of that gets the title shot? I'm not mad at it. That's cool, but if you want to just throw something in there, give Cara France a shot, dude. Give him the shot. Give him the shot. Yeah, Royval. Let me see Royval. Royval's lost to Pantoja and then beat Moreno this past February. It was a split as well. A split doesn't really get you a title shot off a loss from title shot, so it's like, I see, yeah, probably him and Cara France. Match them up. Winner gets the title shot. But if you want if you need a pay-per-view filler in the next few months, especially if Conor pulls out again in December, then throw them flyweights out there. You've done it before. You've done it with Figgy and Moreno. You did that in December. They fought to a draw. So might as well do it again. Throw them flyweights in there. Give us Cara France. Give us Pantoja. Striker grappler fight. And then take my money. Take my money. I'll probably lose again, but take my money, and we're gonna have a good night. So yeah, Cara France, Dan Hooker, big dogs, CKB big dogs. Pull out the wins. If you had them parlayed, if you had the CKB parlay going, good on you. If you cashed it out before the main event, good, even better on you. And yeah, that wraps that up. Put a bow on that. Next, we have the prospects of the card. The prospects impressed. Boy, did they impress. Should we start low or start high? Let's start low. Tom Nolan defeats Alex Reyes, a fight that the books had minus 400 for him to take TKO Reyes in round 1, or just minus 400 for him to TKO Reyes. The decision was plus 1,300, y'all. Now, a little fun fact. I tried to put that in right before the fight. I started looking at it. I was like, he has been KO'd in his last couple fights, and this guy's a KO guy, but I don't know. Something was telling me that this was going to go the distance because the books were going way too hard on that. It reminded me of the Robelis Despania fight. They're like, oh, he's definitely getting the round 1 TKO, and then he loses a decision. I'm like, fraud check. But yeah, so I was like, I don't think he's going to get the finish, even though he's a 6'2" lightweight, all this crap they're talking, they're big up in him. I'm like, Alex Reyes might be more durable than I think. So I try to put this damn parlay in him, 2 different apps. Both won't let me do it. Fight starts. Looks like he might get the finish. Gets out of the round. Does the same thing in round 2. Gets out of the round. Does the same thing in round 3. Nolan gets a unanimous 30-27 decision. There was a 129-28 because Reyes had positional control in round 3, but should have been 3 30-27s across the board, honestly. But yeah, Tom Nolan impressed. Great striking. He always wanted to press the action, always wanted to fight, never wanted to stall. Good fighting style for the lightweight division. He looked good in there, regardless of not getting the finish. So Tom Nolan, good on you. Great prospect in the making. Jack Jenkins, you looked good too. You pissed me Jack Jenkins. I needed that TKO round 2. That was my gold star pick of the week, bro. You were whooping his ass in round 2. You were standing over him for 2 minutes of the round, bro. Did you look at him on the floor? There was nothing left. You kept jumping into his guard. What are you doing? You kicked him 4 or 5 times in the leg. He topples over, rolls to his back, and now you want to jump in a jiu-jitsu guy's guard? You almost got subbed. What were you doing? What was the thought process, bro? That was killing me, man. That bet should have been cashed. TKO round 2 should have cashed. 48 seconds into round 3, he gets the TKO of something that should have happened in round 2, but you decided to just stand there and let your gas tank fill. He had no gas tank left, bro. Come on. That should piss me off. Like, don't do that. You're clearly winning the fight. You're the guy whooping his ass. So you should know better than all of us how he's looking. You're seeing his eyes closer than we are. Cameras aren't showing us what you're seeing. You've seen he had nothing left, and you still let him live to round 3. He gets finished in round 2 in all of his fights, and you let him live to round 3. Like, bro, that was the easiest round 2 cash that could have happened, and you still didn't let it happen. You looked good, though. I mean, you did your leg kicks thing. I don't think you broke anybody's legs tonight, but yeah, you looked good. But come on, man, that killer instinct needs to be. If you can't get Burns out of there, somebody that got taken out in the second round and 3 fights prior, all by TKOs, you can't do that, dude. I don't know. I mean, you got him round 3, but that killer instinct isn't there. You're gonna need that killer instinct for that division, my bro. You're gonna need it for that division. Jeez Louise. You got some killers in there, man. Featherweight, you're gonna need killer instinct. You got Topuria, you got Max Holloway, you got Brian Ortega, you got Yair Rodriguez, you got Arnold Allen, you got Josh Emmett. Bro, the division's stacked. You need your killer instinct. No standing around waiting over someone. Finish it. Finish him. Come on. That was killing me. I was yelling at my TV. I was done with the fight. I didn't even watch the rest of the third round because I knew it was going to end. And I was like, whatever, bro. I went outside, smoked my cigar, fumed, really. Because that should have cashed. That, Jack, come on, man. And then flyweight, women's flyweight. Casey O'Neill defeats Luana Santos. I know I had Luana Santos in my picks. I actually don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did that because I literally have a write-up on Casey O'Neill. And I knew she was good. I think the layoff had something to do with it. She hadn't fought in over a year. So I was like, Casey this might be a rusty fight for her first getting back. Because she didn't even look great in her last fight, too. So I was like, Luana's been looking good. Maybe it'll be a splitty Luana, and then Casey will lose. But Casey looked great. She beat her handily in every round, striking, didn't let her get any grappling exchanges off, tucked her chin when she had one chance to get a submission on her, and then almost put a submission and TKO finish on her at the end of round 3, but Luana survived, and then Casey walks out with a unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 30-26. So Casey, I'll probably do a fighter spotlight on you. You looked great. You got that fighter instinct. You're killing it. Striking looked great. Grappling looked great. Defensive wrestling looked great. You separating the hands. You did everything right in this fight. Congrats to you. Kudos to Casey O'Neill. She looks like a problem at 125. A big problem at 125. She's on the way, and there's not a lot of competition there. I mean, there's Manon Fiorot and Erin Blanchfield, but then she's got people like Macy Barber. I think that would be a good matchup for her. She's got Rose. Don't feed her Rose yet, but she got Caitlin Shermanara. Used to be Caitlin Chukagian from Amityville, Long Island. Shout out Long Island. And yeah, she has an opportunity to take someone out in the top 10 now. I think she can move right past Jasuda Vicious, De Silva, who used to be Lipsky, Cortez, Karine Silva. Skip all past that. Give me a Rebos fight. Give me a Shermanara fight. Give me a Macy Barber fight. I think that's next for Casey O'Neill. Just move her up quicker because she looks like she's ready for a title shot. She's doing everything right. She's taking everything seriously, and she's putting a beating on these girls now. She was doing that before. I mean, even when she lost her last fight, I think she got subbed. I believe she got subbed. Yeah, she lost by armbar to Lipsky. I don't want that rematch. It's fine. And then before that, she lost to Jennifer Maia, who was a world beater at the time. But like she was putting hands on girls like Modafferi Antonina Shevchenko, Lara Procopio, Shanna Dobson. Obviously, those aren't the greatest names to be mentioning, but she was putting the hands on her. And now you can see her putting hands on people like Santos. Give her that next step. Not a former champion. Calm down. Slow that roll real quick. Not a former champion, but give her something good next. Casey O'Neill, looking good in there. I'd love to see a good fight for her come to fruition next. And then my last prospect of the card that did really well, showed out, was obviously Carlos Pradas. Fighting nerds, baby. Fighting nerds, baby. Fighting frigging nerds. They're on the come up. They're the new CKB. I told you guys. Fighting nerds is on the come up. And they're going to do it again next weekend with Caio Borralho. You'll see my picks on that later. But Carlos Pradas defeats Li Jingliang, Jing Liang, KO, round 2, 4 minutes and 2 seconds. Yeah, man, he looked good in there. He did the same thing he does in all his fights. Looking long, landing his jab, landing his straight, landing little elbows here and there, making his opponent pay every time they miss, and then leans up against his corner, grabs his ciggy, puffs on. No, he didn't do that. But I know he had a few cigs after that fight because he deserved it. That was a great win by him. Carlos Pradas, Fighting Nerds, everybody in that camp, Gene Silva, Caio Borralho, what's his name? Oh my God. He said Carlos Pradas. All those guys. You guys are on the come up. I think you might go undefeated in 2024. If not, maybe I think you have 1 or 2 losses. But yeah, your team is looking fantastic. Congrats to them. They're looking good. They got my vote for the World MMA Awards Team of the Year. So yeah, Fighting Nerds. You guys are doing something special over there. Something special in that gym. Keep it going. Whatever you're doing, don't change a goddamn thing. And that'll do it for me on UFC. Other notables: Jesus Santos Aguilar submitted Stuart Nickel. Nickel was looking good and then just put himself in a choke and went to sleep. Ricardo Ramos got the split decision over Joshua Culibao. We call bull on that because I mean, he did grapple at the second half of both rounds 1 and 3. I think he probably stole round 1, but round 3, I don't think he stole that. It should have been rounds 1, Ricardo Ramos, rounds 2 and 3, Culibao, split Culibao, 29-28. I can't believe Ramos got the decision, but hey. Walter Walker defeated Justin Tafa with a heel hook by verbal submission. There was a whole thing after that. You never know. Walter Walker might be fighting Justin Tafa after that because Junior Tafa is not getting that rematch. And then Jairzinho beat Ty. Split decision. Shady judging right there. They actually pulled the judge from that after that fight. They're like, that was some shady crap. He did not win more than 1 round. So they pulled him right after that fight. They said, no, you're relieved of your duties, my guy. That was crazy to give Ty this fight. And then, yeah, I went over the rest of the card already. Oh, yeah, and Son Kanan was putting the hands on Ricky Glenn, gave him a Frankenstein wart on the side of his head. If you guys want to see that, he gave him a crazy mouse on his head, or hematoma, sorry. Yeah, so go check that out. But moving on, we have the PFL results. Another card that all right, so I did amazing on this card. Singles-wise, I did amazing. I got almost every fight right, except for one. The Australians did me dirty this weekend. Stuart Nickel on the UFC card did me dirty. Jack Jenkins did me dirty. Tom Nolan, well, he didn't do me dirty. The Bucks did me dirty by not taking my bet, my plus 1,300 decision bet. That would have won me $1,300. But yeah, 1,400 if you count what I put in. But yeah, Casey O'Neill screwed me this weekend. Beat Santos, you know. Joshua Culibao screwed me. Got beat by Ramos. That straight did not hit. I put money on Ty, screwed me, but I had Jairzinho on the parlay, so whatever. The only ones that did me, they weren't even Australians. The Kiwis did me right. Dan Hooker, Kai Kara France, my boys. They did it right. You other guys, you Aussies. What happened this weekend, bro? What happened? Bad weekend for the Aussies. PFL 8. Let's go over the card real quick. Our obvious winners, Montague, Oliver. We all knew that was going to hit. If you're a minus 1,600 favorite, you're probably going to win. That Gene. Yeah, if you know, you know. More on that in a little bit. Mads Burnell got the win over Elvin Espinoza. Elvin Espinoza was the hometown kid. Everybody thought he was going to win. A lot of money coming in on him late. He became the favorite. I threw money on Mads Burnell underdog. Got it at plus money, 105. Cash it. Let's go. And then this fight, I was telling everybody about this fight that would listen. I think I even told you guys on the last stream. I said Lazaro Darin is a live dog, baby. Live dog. I told you guys. I was like, hey, he fights out of Goat Shed with Dana Brown. Goat Shed, another up-and-coming gym. So I was like, Goat Shed, they got some savages in there. They don't like to wrestle over there. They like to put hands on you. So they are very much an anti-wrestling gym. So I was like, oh, this is the perfect person to go up against Danny Sabatello. I say Danny Sabatello can't get the takedowns as much. Get some hands put on him. And guess what the fuck happened? He got them hands put on him. He got knocked down, clipped, easy round one. Almost got put away. Lazaro almost finished the fight. Danny comes out in round two, wrestles him for his dear life. Just on his back the whole time. He's like, bro, I can't stand with this dude. This dude's about to hurt me if I do. So round two goes to Sabatello. It all comes down to this round three. Some foul happens. Ref takes a point away from Lazaro Darin. Lazaro Darin's still putting hands on him. Sabatello gets a takedown at the end of the round, stays there on top. He thinks he wins the fight because of that, but he didn't land a lot of damage. He was just holding him down, little baby rabbit punches. Lazaro Darin should have won this fight with the point taken. This fight ends as a draw. I'm so sorry if you put money on Darin and you thought you had this cashed in, and Danny Sabatello, did enough to get the draw, and you got your money back at least. I know you got your money back because I did. But yeah, my plus 600 or whatever it was did not cash, and I was kind of sad about that. But yeah, Lazaro Darin, Goat Shed. Keep Goat Shed on your radar. Got a lot of good fighters out of that gym. They got what's the girl Luke Thomas likes? Ayin Perez fights out of that gym. Jillian Robertson, red hair, UFC fighter, fights out of that gym. She's a grappler, but now she's more striking. You could tell in her style since going to Go Gym. Both of them. They used to be grappling heavy, and now they put hands on people. And then when people can't take their hands anymore, they take them down and put the hands on them ground and pound style. So, and then they search for the sub, but they don't even really search for the subs no more. Jillian's a sub searcher. Ayan's content to ground and pound, So like that gym, watch out, man. I knew Lazaro Darin, you should have got the win. Shout out to you. I knew you were going to put some hands on Danny because he just likes to wrestle. He's not a big striker, so saw that coming. Biagio Ali Walsh gets the TKO around 155 seconds in. Didn't even last a minute. We saw that coming, though. Brent Primus, my boy. Brent, good job, dude. You got the win. You took your son to Florida. You got that dub making my interview look good. I hope the numbers go up. Thank you, Brent. Great win. You said it was a boring fight. I didn't see it as a boring fight. It was pretty entertaining. Clay Collard got up a couple times, made it interesting, landed a couple strikes, got me out of my seat, heart rate jumping. But yeah, pulled out the win, unanimous decision, 30-27, 30-27, 30-26. Then Gadzi Rabadanov ruined my bet. I had decision. He KOs Dufour, round two. It was a really nice left hook. It was really nice. Put him down. It was over after that. Dufour, classic, loves to ruin all my bets. Whether it's him winning or him losing, he just ruins my bets. And then the parlay killer. Dovletstan Yakshimuradov defeats Rob Wilkinson. Yeah, I'm twitching because I'm triggered by that. Rob Wilkinson. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? I don't want to say it. But you haven't looked the same since you got popped, my boy. Haven't looked the same. Is it the juice? I don't know. It's just the rumors that have been going around me. Haven't looked the same. Splitties. You got unanimous decisioned by Dovletstan Yakshimuradov. A 24-7 fighter. I mean, granted, he was on a 5-fight win streak had wins against Carvalho in a finish. Julius Anglikas win, unanimous. A Maciej Rosansky win, unanimous. A Jacob Nadeau TKO win, and then a Simon Biong unanimous decision win. Now, none of those were like names that I would be like, oh wow, especially, but Carvalho maybe. I was like, okay, that's a good win. But yeah, and then for him to beat Wilkinson, how he did, like Wilkinson, I don't know if it was Wilkinson looking like shit or Dovletstan just having the best game plan for him. But yeah, killed my parlay. I'll show you that later. Killed it. Started the landslide. If Rob won this weekend, it would have been a positive weekend. It would have been a positive weekend. But the fact that he lost started a chain reaction of cascading L's that just overwhelmed me in the end. I just could not string a win together. It was the start of many L's. So Rob Wilkinson, you fucked me pretty good this weekend. You got me good, buddy. You got me good. And then the final fight of the evening, Impa Kasaganai defeated Josh Silveira. Unanimous decision, 29-28, 130-27 in there. Yeah, we all saw that. It happened last year in the finals that way. Pretty much was going to happen the same way. Second time they fought. Yeah. Josh Silveira made a good account of himself, but, another unanimous decision loss to somebody that's looking like he's going to repeat as the champ. Impa Kasaganai looks like he's going to repeat as the champ. Great win. Another notch in his belt. He's looked like a champ since leaving the UFC. So shout out to Impa Kasaganai. What a win. What a win. What a win. Moving on. If you don't know, now you know, motherfucker. Thad Gene, baby. I know he didn't get the finish. But look at his opponent. Did you see the fight? His opponent's awkward as hell. You try to put away a guy like that, throwing weird strikes and weird angles, leaning back like a noodle. You try to finish that. He hasn't been finished by a lot of guys. I really thought Thad was gonna find the shot to put him away, but it was just such an awkward style. I didn't realize how awkward he was. I knew he was awkward. I didn't know he was that awkward. I didn't know he was a who's a super awkward fighter. Who's that guy flyweight? Not Tim. What was his name? Yeah, Tim Elliott. He's like a Tim Elliott style fighter. That very, very weird style, kind of like Tim Elliott. Come in there, herky jerky, leans back at weird angles, throws shots from weird angles. Like it was a very interesting. That did well with what his opponent gave him. He landed the most strikes. He looked like he was getting a little tired towards the end there, but like chasing somebody like that, you will get tired. He was literally chasing him around the cage the whole fight, trying to land his shots, trying to land his right high kick, trying to land his right straight, trying to land his left hook. But this guy was just so awkward. The left hook couldn't land because he just leaned back just enough. And then when he tried to follow with the right straight, he'd bend at the waist and then he couldn't land a strike there. And then he'd turn off. And then that would just have to land a leg kick or a body kick just to land something in the exchange. So, like, what can you do? But we stay undefeated, baby. 8-0. 8-0 for that Gene. I was very happy with that fight. I won money. I won on his straights. Obviously, the parlay didn't hit thanks to Wilco. But yeah, Thad Gene, seriously good win. Should be getting somebody decent next. Happy for him. Hopefully, he can come on for that interview soon. Still got to get in contact with him. I sent him a message, but we'll talk soon. And yeah, we'll get that going. But shout out Thad Gene. If you don't know, now you know. PFL fighter, welterweight, 6'2", silverback, fighting out of Florida, gets the win. Wouldn't have it any other way. And then that ends our portion of the MMA news of the week. Thank you. Now we move on to boxing. Top Rank happened this weekend. We had a former Showtime fighter, Sergey Derevyenchenko, fighting Mbilli. Valiant effort by Derevyenchenko. Valiant effort, honestly. He beats him by unanimous decision. Derevyenchenko loses because he had an injured left arm for most of the fight, but had the heart to finish the fight. So, good on him. Good on him. Didn't see that coming. I thought Mbilli would have got the finish. But Derevyenchenko, really tough fighter. He's fought in some of the best. I mean, his resume, I think he's fought a Charlo. Pretty sure. So that's pretty good. Yeah, he's fought Munguia. He's fought Christian Mbilli. He's fought Carlos Adames, hammer. He's fought Jamal Charlo, another hammer. He's fought Gennady Golovkin, another hammer. He's fought Danny Jacobs, another hammer. Like, Derevyenchenko, Iron Man. He's gone decision with all these guys. Every single name I just said to you, he's gone decision with. Split with Danny. Unanimous loss. They've all been losses, granted, but still. Split loss to Danny. Unanimous loss to Golovkin, Triple G. Unanimous loss to Jamal Charlo. Majority decision loss to Carlos Adames. Unanimous decision loss to Jaime Munguia. Unanimous decision loss to Christian Mbilli. I mean, he's definitely a gatekeeper. The one of the best gatekeepers you can pull for middleweight. So shout out Derevyenchenko. Great fight. Heal up. You're gonna get another good fighter next. I wonder who, but they throw him a bone, man. The guy's fought in hammer after hammer after hammer after hammer after hammer and has not ever complained. He's even finished the fight with a destroyed arm. Give him something, people. Come on. But Christian Mbilli looking good in there. He is now 28-0. His first signature win being Derevyenchenko, so he should get a good fight. One of those names that Derevyenchenko has lost to should be knocking on his door next. So, yeah. The only other name that he fought was Ronald Ellis, which is Rashidi Ellis's brother, I believe. So, yeah, and then Damon Nicholson, he's also fought. He was a good fighter. KO'd him. But, yeah, a good win for Mbilli, former Olympian. Third best active super middleweight. So, fighter out of Cameroon. Good for him. Nice young fighter. Other notables on the card. We had Guida Vianilio, I believe. I probably butchered that real bad. He beat Makhmuradov via 8th round TKO. Good win on him. He should be getting a nice fight next. And then prospect watch. Abdullah Mason gets another KO. Abdullah Mason. This guy's been putting hands on people. Putting freaking hands on everybody. My Lord. Young up-and-comer. 15 bouts total. Guess how many he finished? 13, baby. 13. Crazy. Knocks out Mike Ohan Jr. Wow. 40 seconds. Wow. But yeah, all his fights beforehand knocked out Luis LeBron, Ronald Ron, Benjamin German, Jose Cardenas. He's just putting these guys away, man. Putting them all away. This guy's on the come up. He's a lightweight. I'd be watching out for him. Abdullah Mason, keep him on your radar. Always take his KO. He's looking like a young Gervonta in my eyes at this point. Also a southpaw, by the way. Only 20 years old. 86% knockout rate. 87 if you want to round up. So Abdullah Mason, great win by you. Top Rank got another one on their hands. Top Rank, you got some good fighters over there, man. You got some good fight. You rivaling Premier Boxing Championship right now. PBC is looking shook. Top Rank's coming up. Matchroom's looking shook. Top Rank's coming up. Damn. And they're getting finishes too. Last week, Angelo Leo. This week, Abdullah Mason. Put Abdul on a co-main next time. I want to see that young man end lives on the big stage. So I want to see him crush dreams on the big stage. Shout out to Abdullah Mason. Great fighter, great boxer, heavy hands. Look out for him. He's a beast. We got about 15 minutes of the show. So let me go quickly into jiu-jitsu. Yeah, what? Grappling? You cover that too? Yeah, I might as well, right? Might as well. CJI, Craig Jones Invitational happened this weekend. Interesting. Me and Luke from the Main Card Minute covered it this weekend. We did an almost 10-hour live stream on Friday to cover the event. It was a long one. It was a tough one. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a war of attrition, for sure. For sure. I don't even know how I made it through. We ended at 3:30 a.m. after day one. But yeah. Let's go over the results. So the over 80 kg semifinals. Nicky Rod beat Adam Bradley. Felipe Andrew beat Ignacio Santos. And then the final was Nicky Rod versus Felipe Andrew. He wins by rear naked choke, round one. Nicky Rod is your over 80 kg champion for the Craig Jones Invitational. He looked like a world beater. He finished everyone, I believe. So yeah, I mean, he was the favorite to win the whole thing. Or was it actually he wasn't. It was another guy. Who was the other guy? Is damn it. I have it. Hold on. I got you guys. I got you. It was he was Brazilian, the actual favorite, but he got taken out in the first round. It was pretty wild to see. It was a huge upset. It was, damn it. Lost it. I just had it. Whatever. Maybe if I look at the brackets, I can find it. Maybe if I look at the brackets. Sorry about all my clicking. Sorry about all my stalling. I'm a moron. Blah, blah, blah. Get over it. Get the F over it. Okay, here we go. Now I have it. So the guy that Victor Hugo. It was Victor Hugo. He was supposed to win, and Lucas, he was the favorite to win. And Lucas Kennard, he heel hooked his ass, grabbed both his legs, wrapped both of them up, had him decide which one he should defend. He chose the wrong one. Got heel hooked. He was out in round one. He was the favorite. After that, then Nicky Rod became the favorite, and he finished everyone up to his final bout. Even his teammate, Adam Bradley, he finished him as well. So B team gets the win in the over 80 kgs. In the under 80 kgs, Levi Jones was looking good. Defeats Ty Ruotolo, unanimous decision. Pretty much tore up his knee because I was seeing at the end of round 2, I believe, that Ty was limping. And I was telling Luke about that. And I was like, yo, even if he wins this, it's not going to look good for him with an injury going into these next 2 matches, a semi and then a final. Wasn't looking good for him. So I was glad to see Levi Jones-Leary got that win. Cade Ruotolo got his win. Andrew Taggart got his win. All that crap. And then it came down to in these under 80 kg semis. We had some young guns in there. But yeah. Cade Ruotolo ends up beating Levi Jones-Leary, unanimous decision. I didn't think it would be that easy of a win for Cade. I thought it would be a split somewhere. But Cade did his thing. He walked in, dominated, controlled all the positions that he needed to. Cade walks out with the win, avenges his brother. I know Ty was pissed. He was like, yo, if he beats my brother too, we got to go get this motherfucker afterwards. But nah, we're good. Cade got the win, unanimous, 49-46, 48-47, 48-47. And the semis, who was the other semi? It was Levi Jones-Leary versus Lucas Barbosa. He won unanimous decision, and Cade beat Tackett by split to get into the finals. And then I just told you how the finals went. Now the super fights. Fionn Davies, Mackenzie Dern. You know I was all over this one. Fionn Davies got the armbar round 2. It was in the corner off the wall of the alley. Fionn just had the back, slides off the top, grabs her arm, and it was over from there. It was an easy finish. Fionn didn't sweat at all in there. She basically dominated Dern in round 1 and then just armbarred her in round 2. So no surprise there. And another dominant win for Craig Jones, defeated Gabby Garcia. He was transitioning however he pleased, going everywhere. I think he was even grabbing stuff just to be funny. He did whatever he wanted in there. He could have went for a leg lock, didn't end up doing it. He did actually. And then Gabby also grabbed onto something, and then he gave up his, and then just let her finish hers. And he was like, "You're not getting me with the leg lock." And then eventually just got the rear naked. It looked like a crank because you couldn't really see where his arm was over her face, if it was over the chin or under the chin. They called it a rear naked. Round 2, 439. Craig Jones gets the win. Gabby still agrees to the OnlyFans collab afterwards. Didn't see that coming, but hey, we'll take it, I guess. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a series of funny photos with Craig probably posing, covering his privates, and Gabby doing the same. It's going to be something like that, obviously. Like, I mean, what do we really expect? What do we really expect out of this? Come on, people. You're sick. You're sick. You're sick. Dirty minds. Get your minds out of the gutter. But yeah, CJI was a massive success. 120,000 views for each event, each day's events. They went from, I think, 200,000, from like 100,000 subscribers to 300,000 subscribers by the end of the weekend. Definitely outshined ADCC. Barely anything of note over there, but we'll still cover it as well. Yeah, Craig Jones Invitational. Hope to see many, many more of it. Massive, massive, massive success. The right people won. Rotolo won. Nicky Rod won. B Team comes out victorious. A young up and comer gets another notch in his belt. And yeah, massive success. Vegas is going off this weekend. Vegas is going off. And other jiu-jitsu news, ADCC is still going on. Day 2 commences. Day 1 in the books. Gordon Ryan won his super fight via points. I mean, I thought he was going to get the finish, but if you could bet on it, I'm pretty sure everyone had Gordon Ryan. Like, who's choosing against that guy? Other notable favorites to win: Wagner Rocha wins via points. Rafael Lovato Jr. wins via guillotine. He moves on. There's obviously a bunch of other names that you guys care about that I have no idea who they are, but those are the names I knew. Those are the guys I want to win, and they're doing well. In other news, guys that are out that I thought would be doing better. Gary Tonin is out. He lost via armbar. I mean, it takes massive balls to go into a jiu-jitsu tournament as a full-time MMA fighter. So shout out to Gary Tonin. Shout out to Mackenzie Dern. Shout out to Cade Rotolo, who is now an MMA fighter and won. Shout out to all those guys that picked up wins this weekend. Shout out to Luke Rockhold just for competing against Pat Downey on CJI. All these guys competing in other combat sports and coming into these strictly grappling events takes a lot. So shout out to those guys. So Gary Tonin losing via armbar, and Vinny Magalhaes was out via penalties. If you know Vinny Magalhaes, it's I wouldn't say he's a dirty grappler, but there's definitely been a lot of controversy around him in his matches in the past. And this one was no different. Another hairy situation for Vinny Magalhaes. But yeah, so that's the ADCC updates. Day 2 commences. Everybody go and watch. If you're bored today, because there's no other combat sports going on. And yeah, that does it for that. And now we move on. We're gonna wait. Should I do my picks? You know what? Nah, we're not going to the picks yet. We're gonna move on to this week's wins. There were none. There were none. Well, there was one. Shout out to Dave. He was in the chat. We tried to do good this weekend. We really tried. We got screwed. Honestly. Here's our solo win. We had a 3-pick that we cashed out. I put close to $10 on it. It was supposed to win, I think, 230 or something like that, 217. I had the CKB parlay in, Kai Kara France, Israel Adesanya, Daniel Hooker. I cashed it out right before the main event. Then I put most of that money on Adesanya, and I lost. And I lost it. Yeah. And then, sorry. Wrong one. Our first L of the week. That Gene did us good. Brent Primus did us even better. Impa Kasang and I pulled out his win, but Rob fucking Wilkinson, Wilco, kills the parlay. Should have walked out $500 richer that night. Did not. Starts the cascade of L's that leads into this. Stuart Nickel, very first fight of the night, kills the parlay. Embarrassing. And very embarrassing. Jack Jenkins gets the win, but like, you better have. Luana Santos doesn't look great. Loses to Casey O'Neill. And then, of course, Carlos and Jairzinho brought it home, but didn't bring the bet home for us because there was no wins this week. It's this week's L's. This week's L's. So I just want to, it wasn't a winning week, so might as well just get that out of the way. So this week's wins was this week's L's. And I'm sorry for anyone that tailed. Wasn't a great week for us. I'm cooking with gas for next week. So yeah. I'm gonna move this up in the rundown because I want to give my picks last. So we'll go into the fighter spotlight of the week, baby. Now, I like to do a fighter on the upcoming cards when I do this. I was tempted to do a Casey O'Neill one because I have a write-up on her and she looked great this weekend and yada, yada, yada. But this week, we're going to go with Caio Borralho. Caio Borralho. I also got a write-up on him. So, yeah, take that. Take that. Yeah, Caio Borralho. He's a grappler that can strike with anyone if needed. He's smothering with his ground game, has a diverse submission game. He can compete for the belt by the end of the year with a win over Cannonier, a dominant win over Cannonier. I feel like he can compete for the belt a la Cody Garbrandt. Remember when he got that title shot off a Takeya Mizugaki win? I feel like this is a similar area for Caio. If he gets a dominant win over Cannonier, either unanimous like 50-45, or he gets a sub early, not late. If it's a sub late, probably give him one more. But if it's an early sub, oh yeah, fast track that man. Fast track him good. Fast track him. I want to see because we don't even have competition for Drickus anyways at middleweight. He beat Strickland and he's got that fight next. He beat Adesanya. That fight's not coming back around. He beat Whitaker. Why? Unless Whitaker gets a dominant win over Chimaev. Nasruddin Imavov doesn't move the needle. Jared Cannonier is about to lose to Caio. So Caio's about to take that 5 spot, be in the top 5, and then that'll be maybe even push him into the 4 spot. Maybe move Nasruddin down. And that would look great for Caio. Wouldn't even need a Whitaker fight because they won't give Whitaker another fight. If he wins against Chimaev, they'll just give him a title shot after that. And then Caio could maybe fight at the beginning of 2025. That would be good. But yeah. That it just makes sense for that. I mean, Caio is a world beater. World beater. Fighting nerds, like I said already. What else can I say, man? Like, the kid's good. The kid's good. He's a beast. Only 31 years of age, from Brazil. They call him the natural. He's also 6'2". Great size for the division. 75-inch reach. Fighting nerds, you know. Great BJJ. Amazing BJJ. Contender Series fighter. Came on the Contender Series, so you know they like to push those guys. They love to push those guys. And, like, his wins are pretty good. If you look at it, I've since beating Aaron Jeffrey on the Contender Series and then coming back because they didn't give him a contract, beat Jesse Mary by TKO. He was like, oh, I didn't get the finish. You want to give me a contract? Cool. Beat his ass down. TKO. Give me my contract. Then he went into the UFC, fought on the Luke Muhammad 2 card, gets a technical decision, unanimous. I don't know why it's technical. That's weird. Oh, he was deducted a point in round 3 due to an accidental illegal knee, which rendered Omar Gadziev unable to continue. I forgot about that fight completely. But he beat Petrosian, who's looking pretty good. He beat Mahmoud Muradov, who, if everybody remembers him, he was looking like he was going to challenge for a high spot in the middleweight division at one point, but, ran into a couple of rough patches. I believe he lost to Gerard Mearshart. And then everybody's like, oh, you lost to Mearshart? Ugh. So they fed him to Borralho, and then he lost again. So then everybody kind of gave up on him. But then beat up Michael Oleksiejczuk, performance of the night bonus. Then beat Abus Magomedov, who has been fighting the top of the division and losing, but still fighting the top of the division. And then he knocked out Paul Craig in round 2, who was looking amazing. Oh, I think I got the weight class wrong. Was I saying middleweight? Oh, no, yeah, he is a middleweight. Yeah, because Paul Craig came down from 205. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, man. Paul Craig was looking great at 85. And Caio came in there and said, cool story, bro. I'm gonna end that. I know Brendan Allen beat you. You got that TKO win over Andre Muniz, but nah, bro. Coming in there, taking your lunch money. That's what he did. So Caio Borralho, my fighter spotlight of the week. Look out for him. He should get the win next week. He will be in my parlays. Absolution. Minus 200. Easy money, baby. I'll take the straight and the parlay. Give it to me. Give it to me. But yeah, that's enough for the Fighter Spotlight of the week. Thank you. Moving on to our last 2 picks. Sorry, we are going over the hour, but got to give you guys the picks. We got the PFL picks. I'll give them to you quick. I'll be quick here so we can get out of here. Give you your Sunday back. Brendan Loughnane. He usually goes in all my parlays. I don't really like to bet against that guy. He's a beast, former PFL campeón. So, yeah. He's fighting Kai Kamaka. He's cool and all. He's on a 5-fight win streak and all. But the names haven't been great. He's beat Pedro Carvalho, who a lot of people beat. He's beat Bubba Jenkins, who was looking good a couple years ago, but now a lot of people got his number. And he beat Henry Corrales, who is a Bellator journeyman, who is a tough out, very tough out. Henry Corrales is a beast. But, I mean, those are your wins. And then Brendan Loughnane, on the other hand. Now, he lost to Jesus Pinedo by that knee, which was a big surprise halfway through 2023. But he came back this year, got a nice TKO win over Pedro Carvalho, and then another nice TKO win over Justin Gonzalez by doctor stoppage. He's looking good. 2 TKOs this year. Kai Kamaka likes to throw hands. Kai Kamaka not on... I mean, he's on a 5-fight win streak, but not on, like... I don't know, man. I wouldn't put money against Loughnane. So Lougnane's going in the parlay. Magomed Umlatov, he's fighting Neiman Gracie. Neiman Gracie has looked good in his last couple fights. He lost to Goiti Yamochi by unanimous decision, but then beat Don Madge pretty handily, just controlled on top the whole time. I don't see him doing the same thing to Umlatov. Umlatov is a grappler. He's undefeated, 32 years of age, 6'1". Yeah, he's 16-0, bro. Lots of knockouts on there. Neiman's not great with the hands. So maybe taking Umlatov, if he's too big of a favorite, maybe taking Umlatov this TKO would be the move. Neiman is prone to taking a lot of strikes to his facial area. Doesn't really, he has very loose hands. Most people, like, when they like keep their guard up, like if you punch their hands, they're not moving. Like, it's very stiff. I feel like Neiman, when he has his hands up, they're very loose at the elbows. You punch his hand and it goes right into his head. So this is a great fight for Umlatov to get the TKO win. I mean, if Goiti Yamochi is getting a KO on him, Umlatov, with most of his wins by KO, I think he could do it too. So that would be a pretty good pick. Timur Kizrayev, never bet against that guy. Grappler, undefeated as well. Why would you bet against him? Why would you bet against that guy? I know he's going against Braga. Braga's a beast too, but I mean, Umlatov grappling. I would just go with the guy. I mean, to be safe, maybe fight goes to decision because I don't see Kizryov getting finished. And I don't see Braga getting finished. But I think Kizryov decision or Kizryov straight up would be a good pick. Stay away from the Musayev Mazanov fight. I'm staying away from that. We'll just enjoy that one. My last other pick of the night, who I think can get it done, would be Luka Pocklet over Eric Aliquin. Luka Pocklet's looked good. This other guy is relatively unknown. I don't see him beating Luka. So, but Enrico Barzola, Tyler Diamond is also on this card. I can see that fight going to decision. For sure. That's a grappler's delight. For sure. But yeah, those are my picks for the PFL 8 card. That would be Lognan, Umlatov, Kizriev, Pocklet. Lognan, Umlatov, Kizriev, Pocklet. Those are my 4 picks for the card. I'll put that parlay out later this week with a graphic, with a cut down, all that stuff for you. And then the final thing we'll talk about today is my UFC picks. You already know we're going with Caio. You already know we don't go against fighting nerds here. We do not go against fighting nerds here. And I know I said I don't go against my Haitians. I don't do it. But Neil Magny, I might make an exception this weekend. I might make an exception this weekend for Neil Magny because he's going up against Michael Morales, undefeated, 11 knockouts, 4 decisions, 1 submission. His last 4 fights, he KO'd Trevin Giles and Adam Fuggett. Decision, Max Griffin and Jake Matthews. Now, Max Griffin and Jake Matthews, both, that's the same tier that I see Neil Magny at. Same tier. So I see this fight going decision. I see Michael Morales decision over Neil Magny. Now, Neil Magny has taken O's before. Do you remember a young man by the name of, oh, wait, he didn't take Mike Malito. Hakeem Dawodu did. I guess his UFC record, though. But yeah, Magny has beaten a prospect before in his last fight, actually. He beat Mike Mallet, UFC 297, TKO at the beginning of this year. It's looking like a good year for Neil Magny. If you like Neil Magny, like I do, I'm probably going to put a little single on him. I got to. I'm still going to go with Neil Magny. I'm going to throw Michael Morales in the parlay, but I'm not betting against Magny because I'm still going to throw him a single on him. But yeah, Michael Morales is my second pick for the parlay. And then my other 2 picks, I'm going to go with Velashelov Borishev. Got to. He does that crazy dance if he wins, that little step dance or whatever it is. Got to go with him because I'm not going with Shabazian or Mearshart. I don't know who's going to win, the grappler or the striker there. Screw that. Dennis Bazooka out of Long Island. Long Island screwed me in my last fight, so I really can't go with them right now. Danny Silva's a hammer, too. Zach Reese and Jose Daniel Medina, stay away. I already told you Vlashev Borishev over James Lontop. Lontop could land some strikes, but I think Borishev should be durable enough to stay in there and get the decision win. You know me in women's MMA fights, I like to take the over. I like to take decision. So whether it's Cavalcanti, Josiah Nunez, or Angela Hill Ricci, decision, whichever one has the better odds, I'd probably take that and throw that in the parlay. Wang Kong versus Victoria Leonardo may not go to decision. That's the one you shouldn't throw in there as a decision. That one may end as a TKO. I know she's a kickboxer. I know she doesn't have a lot of finishes, but Victoria Leonardo has been finished a lot by TKO. So I don't think that fight goes the distance. I might throw a single on that for it to not go the distance. But yeah, I would probably go with Wang for that one. Pause. But definitely go with Wang Kong. Pause. For sure. And those are my picks for the UFC Fight Night. I think that does it for me in terms of the rundown. Yeah, we already did with this week's wins. Sponsors, you already know. I'm a fat ass. So, Wendy's, holla at me. Any CBD THC products, holla at me. Any sports books, holla at me. Hey, any gyms, you want to sponsor me? I'll do that too. I'm a Long Island MMA guy, but holla at me. Holla at me, holla at me. But yeah. Once again, my name's Gaff. I'm the host of this program. I will see you every Sunday, bright and early, giving you your MMA news. If you can't wait till Monday for all the big heads, the morning combats, the MMA fightings, the MMA hours, the submission radios of the world. Those guys, you can, if you're thirsty for some content, come here on Sunday. I got you. I know MMA fighting does a on to the next one or something like that on Sundays. So they're my competition. But you're taking everything I work for, motherfuckers. But yeah. Shout out to them. Maybe I'll try to be the host of their new show. I know Ariel's going somewhere. If you guys need a host, I'm here. Got good hair. I could clean up the beard and stuff for camera. Consider me. I got the personality for it, I think. People tell me that. But yeah. If you like the programming, please follow and subscribe. One Round Fights, Instagram, TikTok, YouTubes, Twitter. Fuck it. Anywhere. Don't forget to send us your emails if you win. If you win, one more round fights at gmail.com. I hope you do. I hope you tail my picks and win. Unlike last week. I'm sorry if you took an L. I'm very sorry from the bottom of my heart. I'm very sorry. We got screwed. The Aussies screwed us this weekend. Every which way. I don't know. I'm going to be apprehensive to take an Aussie in my parlays from here on out. I'm not going to lie. Let me look if I had anyone in this week, any Aussies in my parlay, because I may change a couple. No, it looks like I went with a lot of Russians and Brazilians. Russians and Brazilians about to do me good this week, baby. They're about to do me good. So Australia are on my shit list right now. Me and Luke we have to talk. We got to talk because that wasn't cool what they did to me this weekend. But anyways, hope you guys have a great week. Keep an eye out for my cut downs. I'll be putting that stuff out this week. Keep an eye out for the parlays, the bets, the picks, all that. Hopefully I got a Thad Gene interview coming. Hopefully I can get that done this week. If not, it'll be coming very, very soon. And thanks for watching. I appreciate all the fans. Let me see a couple comments. Didn't get any this stream. Okay. All good. All good. But anyways, thanks for watching. Anybody that tuned in. Appreciate you. And till next time. Till next Sunday. Peace.